Hey, this is Excellent the Maths Doctor and welcome to my YouTube channel. So today, there is something that's very interesting, and guys, simultaneous equations. So some of the questions we have these options to choose from, or which one are we going to solve? And guys, simultaneous equations, I just decided to do it because you want to like a challenge a lot of people. So let's just take the first one from this list of simultaneous equations. Number one again, I reckon we'll learn how it's on the other side so that everyone can be able to see it very, very well. So the equations, the first equation again, give y plus x is equal to 5. Then we label it on which one is equation number 1. This is equation number 1 again. Now the second equation. The second equation is like this: y minus x squared, then plus 3x minus 5 is equal to 0. This is equation number 2. So guys, simultaneous equations, always the first thing you must know, you'll always get 2 equations, not more than 2 equations. And guys, so after the equation JPD like this, then when you're going to solve it simultaneously using one of 2 methods. The first method is substitution, then we have another method here, elimination. So the one we longer get today is substitution. And guys, we're going to use the method here for substitution. How does a method of substitution work? Okay, if you're going to use substitution to solve for as an equation simultaneously, what are you going to do? Firstly, you have to create another equation out of one of the equations. You're going to create equation number 3. And guys, so the one year longer it will be easier to use the first equation, because equation number 1 is structured much more simpler than equation number 2. So equation number 1 create equation number 3, it will be easy. And how do you create equation number 3? Equation number 3, if you want to create it, you just simply, let me do this. You just simply put one variable on one side of the equal sign, and guys, so I will build the variable JPD on one side of the equal sign like this. I have y plus x on one side. So it's either y on one side or x on one side alone. They mustn't be together. And guys, so repeat so. Let's say y on one side alone, meaning we're going to take x and move it to the other side. Negative x. So the main idea equation number 3 thing, one variable must stay alone on one side of the equal sign. So that's why I get x and moved it to the side, or y is and if you go share x and move y, you can still put it in that way. The answer is still going to be the same way. Guys, so remove x, then rashalaka y on one side, then on this side 5 minus x. Then this we label it as equation number 3. This is equation number 3. So substitution, like I said before, we can create a third equation. And guys, this is our third equation here. So after we create the equation number 3, we'll run. Okay, equation the idea it means that wherever we see y, we can substitute 5 minus x, because according to this equation, y and 5 minus x are equal. And guys, so y is equal to 5 minus x. It means that more than y we substitute 5 minus x. And guys, so we're going to substitute equation number 2. Let me write it down. Equation number 2 y minus x squared, then plus 3x minus 5 equals to 0. So equation number 2. So more than y in this equation, we put 5 minus x. So let's do that. Here's a wire actually the only y in this equation. So only y 5 minus x, because y and 5 minus x are equal. Again, so I'll put bracket 5 minus x like this in the place of y, then say minus x squared, and then plus 3x minus 5 equals 0. That's how you do it. So that was a substitution. That's what they mean. It means that more than y we substitute 5 minus x. Or if udele x the subject of the formula, then it would be in a different way, but still the answer would be the same. So I simplify everything, meaning we're going to add like terms and everything. So the like terms, okay, let me just remove this brackets because they really don't make a difference. Yeah, the remove again. Then bring back the like terms. Firstly, okay, RJ negative x squared and put it first. Negative x squared. This one I like term, guys. I want any other term in this equation, you know, it has x squared. And then we move to x but without the squared. So negative x, then positive 3x. These two give like terms, both of them have x, and the extra one is the exponent. The exponent is 1 muki, it will like 1 muki. Remember, if they don't write an exponent, it means that the exponent is 1. So the 1, meaning that they are the same, they are like terms, we can add them together. So here the adder, we say negative x plus 3x. Okay, more really negative x, come up x is 1, and guys, it's just that the 1 we don't write it. So not negative 1 in front of x. So negative 1 plus 3, if you calculate it, it will give you 2. So the total plus 2, then I write the x. Okay, so it's over plus 2x, then we have 5 minus 5. What is 5 minus 5? 5 1 5, you're left with nothing, with a 0. So I'm not going to write it to show that we are left with nothing, no 5 minus 5. Then on this side, finally a 0 as well. Then from here, what are we going to do? Okay, from here, the next step is to change x squared, take it from being a negative to a positive. How do we do that? If we want to change x squared from being a negative to a positive, we can just multiply this expression negative. So because if we say negative times negative, it will give us positive x squared. Okay, guys, and Kamoki, the 0 we also need to multiply it by negative, but in this case for 0 there is no need, okay, guys, because 0 okay multiply a negative or by multiply a positive, it will remain as 0, it doesn't have a sign. Okay, guys, so negative times negative, it gives us positive x squared. Positive x squared. Then negative times positive. Okay, negative and positive, they are two different signs. So when you multiply two different signs, the answer is going to be a negative sign. So it will be negative 2x and is equal to 0. Then from here, we're going to do a type of factorization to take out the common factor. And guys, we're going to take out the common factor in this in this expression, which was x squared minus 2x. It has a common factor. What is the common factor? The common factor in this case is over x, because we have x more term number 1. Term number 1 get x squared, then term number 2 is negative 2x. So both term number 1 and term number 2, they have x, meaning what x get a common factor because it's in both of the terms. So we write it as a common factor. Okay, let me just move to the other side because of space. Finally, x squared minus 2x equals to 0. So x is a common factor. So let's take x out as a common factor. So I write x, then I open brackets like this. And then when you write a common factor, you just write it down here, then over job with the brackets. That's how you factorize, by taking out the common factor. And then for us, we're another x like this, and we want to go back to being x squared. And get a x, guys, is a common factor. Let's say we want to take this x and take it back to being x squared. What are we going to multiply it by? Okay, for x to be x squared, you can multiply it by another x. So I'm going to write x here, because I know if I say x times x, it takes me back to x squared. Just like that. Then we go to the second one. The second term is negative 2x. So we look at the common factor again. Common factor, don't forget, x. So now, if we want this x over even negative 2x, what are we going to do? Okay, for x to be negative 2x, we can multiply it by negative 2. And get it, guys, because if you say x times negative 2, it gives you negative 2x. Then you say equals to 0. Now you have factorized. Then from here, the step from here, it's very simple. You really don't need to do much. Honor x, or just this one again. Immediately, you take this one separately, then afterwards the one in the brackets separately. So we start with this one that is outside of the brackets. Then we equate it to what? To 0. Okay, so we say x equal 0. Then we write or let me put a different color here. Or, then another one we can say x minus 2, current brackets of x minus 2 again. So we said x is equal to 0 or x minus 2 is equal to 0. X and minus 2, we put them together because they're in the same brackets. This one is outside of the brackets alone. So x equal to 0, then we say or x minus 2 equals to 0. That is how you solve for x, like ushimisha the quadratic formula, in a quadratic equation. And get it, guys, in a quadratic equation, that's how you solve for x. So x is equal to 0 or x is equal to what? We just take from Moki, we just take negative 2 and bring it to the other side. And remember, when it skips the equal sign to this other side, what happens to it? The sign of negative 2 changes. So if it is negative on this side, then it becomes positive 2. So if our x is equal to positive 2. So x is either 0 or x is either 2. So okay, two answers still on what we have. Now we're going to solve for y. Remember, when we are solving for simultaneous equation, the main idea is to solve for what? For two variables. In this case, our variables are x and y. But it turns out we have two variables and that are different in one equation. So that way it becomes more difficult. That's why we never for the equation because that way we can work with both of the equations to solve for the two variables that are in a common equation. So from here, if we're going to solve for x, we just go back. If we're going to solve for y, we already solved for x. If we're going to solve for y, we just go back to the equations. Similarly, equation 1, equation 2, and equation 3. So you just choose any one of your choice to solve for y. And get it, guys. So the best one, you just have to take the easiest equation. So we can just take this equation number 3. Equation number 3 is much more straightforward than y. So we take equation number 3, y equals to 5 minus x. Y equals to 5 minus x. Y equals 5 minus x is equation 3. So if you want to solve for y, if finally two answers for x, it means that for y, we're going to have two answers. So it means that the first thing we can say, y equals to 5 minus, then in the place of x, the first thing reveals 0. And get our first answer, x equal to 0. So moki x reveals 0. Then we write another one. We say or if y equals to 5 minus, in the place of x, the other one that we're going to put in get 2. And get moki reveals 0 because we have an x here which is equal to 0. Then we have another x which is equal to 2. So moki x the other term that I'm going to put in get 2. So that's why I said we must have two answers because the x is on the so substitute both of the x's 0 and 2. And so 5 minus 0 is what is just 5. So y is equal to 5 moki, or then y equals to 5 minus 2. 5 minus 2 is going to give us what? 3. So y is equal to 5 or y is equal to 3 because the x it has two answers. That's how you solve for x and y simultaneously. Then basically this is it. So if you manage to solve for one variable, then the other one it will be much more easier. And get it, guys, because you have an exact value of one of the variables, then the other variable you don't need to worry a long like distance or to the final answer. So from here, yeah, basically this is it. Simultaneous equations, they're not so difficult. The only thing they're a bit long, so but they are tiring. But if you understand what you're supposed to do, how your answer is supposed to be structured, then we'll go and get it, guys. So basically that is it. Please subscribe to my channel and get guys, like the video, and I'm still going to be posting more and more maths videos. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Oh, and another thing before I forget, guys, I have maths lessons and get apart from YouTube and everything on already maths lessons. So if you're interested in the maths lessons and you want to join, my number is 081-703-1197. Then you can contact me on that number, then you'll get your assistance. Thank you.